You've done lives before. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I hope we got some people going to come in real soon. We've got a wonderful guest. Look who we have.
Just got the notification.
Oh, you just did? Okay, well, good. Yeah. Now people will start getting it. So, yeah, and because I do StreamYard, I don't know if it's like a delay or something like that. But, yeah, I've got my list of questions. I'm so excited to ask you all these questions because they're good questions, Erica.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you on private chat or comments? Which one do I need to be on? So I can
I'm not
read.
on private chat. There we go. Maribel. Hi, Maribel and Sunita.
Hello.
Oh, look, they're even saying hi to you too. Hello. How are you all doing today? Looks like we got 5 people here, but I only see 2. And I can't see. I don't know. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Shell. How you doing?
Hi, Debbie.
Oh, you did watch that too. You're going to have your fill of me when you're done today, Shell. All right. Oh, it's afternoon, Debbie. I know it might still be morning. No, it's not morning for you, is it? Hi, Tammy. How's everybody doing today? We're going to start some questions. I got some good questions for Erica today. Does everybody know Erica from her channel, the TLC, the Lopsided Crafter? You're fine. Yeah, I know. I was telling a story to Erica, so I'm so glad you're here, Liz.
Yeah, we were busy chit-chatting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to wait a couple minutes. Tell me what you got in your cup. And I've got some water with some flavoring in it. Oh, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi.
As always, Diet Pepsi or sweet tea.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
Sweet tea?
Sweet tea.
I hope you sweeten it with something other than sugar.
Oh, yeah, I don't use sugar, no.
Okay, good. Yeah. Liz says, hi. Do you see the chat?
I do.
Erica, do you see that? All right. Maribel's got coffee. Anybody working on anything?
I'm working on the mint poncho by
Crystal. How far have you gotten? That is one I have not done yet. It looks so easy. I just haven't done it yet.
It is fairly easy. I don't have any shoulders. So she suggests the K hook, and I'm actually using the J to for my shoulders.
Hey, Erica.
Yep.
Bring shoulder pads back.
I don't know about that. So it's actually taking a little bit longer. She suggests 20 rounds, but I'm way past the 20.
Yeah.
Because of the smaller hook, but it's okay.
Right. Debbie's got coffee. Maribel is, a scrap queen size blanket using half double crochet. Wow. How far have you gotten on that, Maribel?
I'd like to see that.
Maribel has water, and Tammy's got the Charlie shawl by Lucia's Fig Tree. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Me neither. I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah. Oh, Maribel said those colors are really pretty.
Thank you.
Mare, that was the mint poncho that she was showing. The mint poncho by Bag a Day. And Maribel's quarter of the way through. I'm working, well, I was working on a little bit, just a couple rounds. My bag, my my burlap bag. I know that's a terrible thing to say of such a, I mean, I know Noro is the, I'm so glad I did not buy any more of that yarn. I mean, it was so expensive. Yeah, I think it's called the mint shawl, Mare.
Yes,
Yes.
it is. It is. Oh, this is a pretty shawl.
Let's see. Oh, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah, that is pretty. Yep, it's the mint shawl.
Okay, and Debbie is organizing her room. Oh, were your ears burning earlier, Debbie, because we were talking about you. We were talking about you.
Yep.
You're welcome, Mare.
I need to organize mine too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just glad you're able to get a signal out there today.
Yes, I'm surprised.
Oh, Debbie, we were talking about the hooks. We were talking about the Furls hooks. And Erica was telling me how she does not like the Furls Odyssey. No, she likes it, but she just can't use it for very long.
Yeah, I can't use them for long-term big projects like Afghans or whatever, but smaller things I can. They just bother my fingers.
I was using my Furls Odyssey on I'm using it for my Daphne blanket. And it's so slippery. I'm going to have to switch it out. I got to see if I can find a 5.5 millimeter in a different hook so that I can change out my hook because I can't. Oh, it's bad.
So we just started.
Yeah, we just started. No lateness here. I don't even have, you know what? I don't even have an eye hook in a streamline. I'll have to use that one.
That one I just got.
It's so beautiful. I love it. It's so pretty. So pretty.
Yeah. Ship really fast too.
Maribel says she likes the furls but can't use them for long either. Prefer the clovers or tulips.
Yeah. I like the tulips as well.
Isn't it neat that, when you find something that you really, really love, it's like you can use other things, but you always go back to that your first love.
Yeah.
And if your first love happens to be the most expensive love, so
Yeah, my mama always said I had champagne taste and beer money.
Beer budget. Yeah. All right, guys. For those of you that have not met her before, this is Erica from the Lopsided Crafter. I almost said crocheter. It used to be Froggy Day Crochet. She changed her name. She changed her game. She is back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Mare says she's got 2 Mosaic Apache Tears blankets. Ooh, that sounds beautiful. That sounds gorgeous. So we today are going to get to know Erica a little bit better. And I've got some very interesting questions for her. And I'm already feeling myself go hoarse.
And she hasn't pre-warned me, so
yeah.
Hopefully, I'll say
I did not give her anything. I did not give anything away. Hi, Gail. How are you? So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. And the first question is, you are into a lot of different fiber arts. Which one of them came first?
Crochet.
And how did they evolve to each one? Tell me what came next and next and next.
Well, my great grandmother, we called her Big Mama. She taught me how to crochet when I was around 8 years old. And it was one of those things, when you're that young, you just do it and you just kind of set it off to the side. Picked it back up later when I got pregnant with my oldest son, who will be 21 next month. And
wow.
back in, I'd say, the late 90s, crochet garments weren't really what they are today.
Right.
Meaning there was lots of holes in your garments, lots of open stitches, that kind of thing. So I wanted to be able to make garments. So it went to knitting from there. And then in the last probably 3 or 4 years, I picked up the loom knitting just because my hands are, getting a little arthritic, and I still wanted to be able to do things as far as knitting, and looming allows me to do that as well. So that's the order.
So when did hold on a minute. So when did Tunisian pop in?
Tunisian actually popped in when I was pregnant with my oldest son. So I've learned how to Tunisian crochet 22 years ago.
Okay. So next question. What made you decide to get your she shed? If those of you that don't know, if you could sit, well, go back to her earlier videos, some of her first videos, and she does tours of her she shed. Yeah.
I wanted to be able to see what I had.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all it boiled down to. There was not a lot of space in my house. And so everything was shoved into the closet.
Okay.
And I never knew what I had in the closet unless I drug everything back out. And I felt like I was buying too many duplicates of items because it was either shoved in a bag or it was over in another complete room.
Okay.
And so my husband says, you really need somewhere where you can craft that kind of thing. So,
well, that was nice of them.
That's how the she shed came into fruition.
Now, I see you've got lighting, and you say you have an air conditioned unit in there too.
Yes, my husband insulated it. He put all the lights and stuff in it. He did the air conditioner. I've got walls actually behind this setup. There's actually like a roll-up garage door that can be used because this is, it's a shed.
Okay.
But he did all the insulation. He put you can't see them here, but I've got pegboards lining the opposite side. So I've got all my looms hung up.
Do you have windows?
I do. There's 2 windows over here and 2 great big doors.
Okay. Cool beans. Okay. Next question. Let me see if there's any questions here. Mayor says 90s had many retro vintage looking garments. Yeah, yes. You're right. Yeah. And you know what? Back in the day, it just seemed like the only garments that were for crochet were just granny styles. Granny square this, granny square that, granny ponchos. And it just seemed like the only pretty things that were being designed were knitted.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk designing for a few minutes. What have you designed, and where can we find your patterns?
Well, I've got a sweater, like a little just type of sweater. It's like 2 rectangles.
Okay.
That's on Ravelry. I've got a loom knitting sock tutorial that I just posted on my channel. So if anybody's interested in that, that's pretty much it right now. I've got a lot in my head. They just haven't come to the forefront.
Okay. So where do you draw your inspiration from?
Other people, not necessarily what they've made, but I can look at something and say, oh, I can do that. And then I try to,
Replicate it.
Yeah.
Okay. What location, where do you find yourself the most productive? Do you need to be in a certain location? Do you need to be in a certain frame of mind?
Nope.
Nope.
If I'm I'm not really a TV watcher, so to speak. I'm a TV listener.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And so I'm constantly crocheting or knitting or something. Even when I'm in the vehicle traveling, I've got something with me.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So I know you have a presence on several social media sites. Okay. So I know you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you have Instagram, right?
Yep.
Do you have any other social media outlets?
No. Well, I mean, I'm on Pinterest, but I think everybody's on Pinterest.
Okay. Hi, Diane.
Yeah, the Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay. Well, do you have a favorite?
It used to be Facebook.
Okay.
But now I find it's, and I'm on TikTok too.
Oh, okay.
I find I'm on Instagram a lot more.
Okay.
Because my Instagram, I have it hooked up to my Facebook page, so it automatically posts for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So is there one that you don't enjoy as much, but you feel like it's a great way to promote your art?
Facebook.
Wow. Okay. And that's interesting. Can you tell me why?
I used to be a big Facebook person, but now I think mainly for the personal reasons is it's the algorithms are just so crazy when you don't even see stuff that your own family posts without going to their page or their wall, whatever you want to call it. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more personable on Instagram right now.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, if you had to give up just one of those fiber art things, which one would it be?
If I had to.
If you had to.
Oh my gosh. Well, it definitely wouldn't be looming by the looks of my wall.
Right. I was like, you got too much invested. You have too much invested in that right now.
If I had to give up one of them, I would say Tunisian only.
Wow.
Only because I can still crochet. And I can still Tunisian crochet on a regular crochet hook. So.
Oh, no. Oh, man, that ain't right. No. You know what? I thought for sure you were going to say knitting because you could still loom.
Well, but I've got a lot invested in knitting too.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I could understand that. Okay. Now here's another one. If you could learn one more yarn craft, what would it be?
I have been very interested, and I'm not going to do it because I just don't want to go down another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
but I have been very interested in learning spinning.
Oh, wow. Now, let me ask you this. Is that like, I love Sadie from Sadie's Spincraft. Is that like that whole process of like getting the fiber to making the hank?
Yes.
Ah, yeah.
And I know it just from watching different channels. It's a big investment, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of space that I just don't have.
Yeah. Hi, Denise. I'm so glad you're here too. So we got a lot of people who like just to listen, like TV listening, that
You know, I,
they're not.
I do that too. I got the big Amazon Fire TV. I'll just put YouTube on and go about my day.
Yeah. Well, what I like to do is like in the evenings when I relax with Mr. Happy, we'll watch shows, but I always have like a crochet project I'm working on that
Yeah.
is a mindless, like something Tunisian or something, a blanket or something like that. I'll be working on something like that so I don't have to think about it.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. So, let's see here. What's the next one? Okay. This is a good one. This is a good one. Are you ready for this one, Erica? Hi, Granny D.
Hi, Granny. How are you? I don't know.
So here's this one. Who were your role models in person and on YouTube? And if they were on YouTube, have you met them in person?
My role models as far as
For your craft, yeah.
fiber arts.
Yeah. Hey, Cynthia.
Well, I guess we can kind of roll back to what I was talking about earlier. I've actually met Rita Weiss, Jean Leonhauser, Bobby Matella, Treva McCain. Rita and Jean were big time designers in the crochet world. They were both instrumental in developing the Crochet Guild of America. Bobby Matella is currently the editor for Yarnspirations, and she was the editor for Red Heart when they were in the Charlotte area. And then Treva was a designer, as well as at the time I met her, she was the secretary of the Crochet Guild of America, and I was her pattern sample crocheter. I would do all the designs that she designed that needed to be sent to publications.
Okay.
So those would be my role models, I suppose.
Okay. So did they have YouTube channels at the time?
No, this was pre-YouTube.
Okay. So Granny D said that one of hers was Seta, that she encouraged her to start her channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are there any designers or YouTube creators that you would still like to meet because they have inspired you so much?
I have met a YouTube creator here recently.
Yes. Tell us about this, please.
And I was driving up to my LYS, and I was parking as Miss Carrie Penny of the Happy Crafty Homemaker was walking out.
That's crazy. That is just crazy. Did she recognize you, or did you recognize?
Both. I honked the horn. I jumped out of the car. My son looked at me like, "Mom, what in the world are you doing?" And she looked at me, and I screamed, and she screamed, and we both ran.
Oh, that is so fun. Now, what are this is going to sound like an off question, but what are the requirements as far as face masks and everything? Do y'all still have the face masks on, or what?
Only in public. We were, well, I shouldn't say in public, but inside establishments.
Okay.
North Carolina, which is where we were, is a lot more strict than we are in South Carolina. South
Gotcha.
Carolina, it is establishment based, meaning
Okay.
if the establishment tells you you have to, you have to. In
Okay.
North Carolina, it's still pretty much required in all public places except for outdoors.
That's so. Was this in South Carolina? I mean, did y'all? What I want to know is, did you see the full face, or
Oh
did
yeah,
you
full
recognize?
face. We were in
That
North
is so
Carolina and we
cool.
were outside. Yeah.
That is so cool. Well, now, are there any other YouTubers that you, I mean, like larger YouTubers that you think I would really like to meet and just pick their brain for a couple hours?
I would actually like to meet Crystal in person because she actually lives an hour from my hometown. So whenever she says she's going to Michael's or Joanne's to shop, she is actually shopping in the town I was born in.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I know she doesn't know who I am, but it would still
Oh,
be neat.
yeah, yeah. Of course it would be. Of course it would be. So, next question. Um, if you could meet, let's say you could meet Crystal, what are some things that you would ask her?
um how she comes up with these ideas all the time. And like I was talking to you earlier about the designing aspect of it, my brain just way overthinks things when it comes to garments. I would really like to know, and I've taken classes and I've got all these different templates of you need to do this, 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 and this. So it would be like the designing part of it mainly.
You know, I did a little research on it too, and I think it's one thing to design something for yourself or somebody that you know, and a whole different ball game if you're trying to design something as a pattern for other people to follow,
Right.
because there's standards that you have to go by. Yeah.
Right. And I was watching a YouTube channel not too long ago. Actually, it was last night. And they were saying to stop designing this way. You need to design this way. And I'm thinking in my mind, but if you want it to be in a publication like a magazine or something to that effect, you have to do the standards or they're not going to take it.
Exactly.
And that's where my brain kind of overthinks it because I'm a bigger woman. I have no shoulders, but I have girls. And so a lot of your patterns that are standardized are not for my body type.
Exactly.
And that's what I had the issue with as far as wanting to design, because I want it to be all inclusive for a way that it would fit everybody. So that's
Right.
why I haven't really went down the garment road yet.
Right. Right. As far as designing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. So, okay. We kind of touched on this in our private discussion, guys. Yeah, I don't know how long you guys have known Erica. I've known her for a couple years. Hi, Danny. I'm glad you could make it back again this afternoon. But Erica has been, we kind of got started. I think she got started a little bit before I did, but we've known each other for a little while, and she's been through a lot. And what I want to know is that in all of that stuff that you were going through, between your health and the family issues and everything, have those changed the way you look at your craft?
I wouldn't say that it changed.
Hi, Lori.
I looked at my craft, but I will say that I don't think I would have gotten through it without my craft.
Okay.
Because the crocheting, the knitting, the looming, it keeps me sane.
Okay. Yeah. Are there certain Are there certain things that you do? Like when you talk to a ball player, they have like certain things that rituals, if you will, that they do to like get them in a good frame of mind to go into it. Do you have any of those?
Nope.
So when you let's say you wake up in the morning and you had an appointment for the day. Hi Dana. Hey. Um so let's say you have an appointment scheduled for the day, and it's going to take a good portion of your time. Is there, and it's going to be mentally taxing on you. Do you have something that you like to do to recover or to prepare yourself in your crafting and your designing and your thinking or anything like that? No?
Nope.
So when you get home from your appointment and it was a really tough time, is there something that you specifically lean to, like one specific, like do you go to your loom?
I just pick up whatever I'm currently working on.
Okay. So are you more of a whip queen, or do you focus on one thing at a time?
It depends on what it is. I have smaller items like knitted socks that I keep in a bag that's what I usually take with me to doctor's appointments. If it's something that I'm working on for a tutorial for my channel, then I am monogamous, but just that only. Like that's all I've worked on the last week or so was that sock for the loom that I just put up. Other than that, I've got whips everywhere, and I really need to
rein it in.
Yes.
So where do you've got your shed, right? So you've got a lot of whips out there. Where else in your home do you have your whips?
In the living room. My husband is an outdoor person, so he never is in the living room. So the living room is actually my other craft room.
Okay, nice.
And we have a sectional couch. And so I kind of just put the bags off to the side of what I need to really be concentrating on.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Okay. Now, this is going to be a let's pretend question. Let's pretend that the world ran out of yarn. I know. And you needed to express your creativity. What craft do you think you'd pursue?
Gosh, I have no idea.
Because it's been so much a part of your life, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, like I learned how to crochet 40 years ago. I really don't know the answer to that, although I probably have enough yarn that would last me for the rest of my life.
Well, now, I thought about that. I've thought about not your yarn, but I've thought about, like if the ability to purchase yarn was not, I couldn't do it. And I always thought, something like, I love watercolor and acrylics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd probably like to take something like that up. Well, hi, Deb and Samantha, and who else? Anybody else pop in? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Erica.
I have dabbled in cross stitch also, so I have a lot of threads and stuff like that. But I had to go out and buy one of those. I'm dating myself here. I had to go out and buy one of those magnetic lights so that I could.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
put my readers on.
That happens. But I used to do a lot of cross stitch too, and that was exactly why I stopped, not because I couldn't see it, but because it was so tedious.
It hurt my hands. I do have an ongoing project, but I haven't pulled it out in a couple months. So
Yeah. And I think, that's one of the things that I love about crochet. And I think a lot of people, I honestly, I don't know. It's a theory that I have that a lot of people are pulled to crochet because it is so quick. I mean, there's instant gratification. When you have a cross stitch thing and it's like this big and it takes you months to do, whereas, you could make, a huge queen size blanket in a month. I mean, it's just, yeah, instant gratification.
yes,
It's
Dana,
nice.
they come in handy. I promise you.
What does?
The light with the
Oh, okay. Yeah,
magnification
yeah,
on it.
yeah. Mayor says if I never finished anything using yarn and fibers, it's 100% worth it activity. Oh yeah. Hi, Kathy. She's talking about how therapeutic it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's see here. I only got 2 more questions left. Okay, let me do this other one first. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Hopefully, in 5 years, all my boys are out of the house.
Okay.
And we have talked about 2 different scenarios. We're either going to convert one of their bedrooms into a craft room, and my husband's going to take over the shed, or B, we are moving full time to our 30 acres in Chester and living in our camper.
Oh my word. Well, what are you going to do with all the yarn?
I'm hauling the shed with me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what I joked with a couple of people. Well, Mr. Happy and I've talked about it before, but that we don't need a whole lot. I mean,
Right.
I need a shed for my stuff, and he needs a huge garage or shed for his stuff. And then, a little tiny kitchen and a bed, and that's it. I mean, you don't need all the stuff.
Right. And if it's under 180 square feet in the state of South Carolina, you do not need a builder's permit.
Really?
So my shed is 160 square feet.
Nice.
And we can completely live off grid.
Yeah, that is nice.
Other than I did tell them I would have to have some kind of internet capabilities.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah. That's true. That's true. But that's easily done. Yeah. So that is really cool. Yeah. One of my dreams is to have an RV, but I'm to travel, just to get in and just travel. Yes. But the real reality of it is I know I wouldn't be happy. I'd be happy at first, but I would get really tired because I don't have all my stuff with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, this is a fun question, and I want you to dream a little bit. Okay. So, someone offered to give you a large storefront property. Okay. Tell me what you'd want to do with it. Would you sell stuff? Would you have classes? Would you what would you do with this big property? Hi, Lorley.
I think I would dye yarn, and I think that I would make it based around loom knitting.
Okay, so you would, okay, so talk it out. What would you do with it?
Well, loom knitting is not very well known.
Okay.
I mean, when I think when people talk about loom knitting, they tend to think weaving. And there's not a lot of standards for loom knitting, kind of like Tunisian. Somebody can just come up with something and say, this is what it is. So that's why there's like 5 different stitch patterns in Tunisian that have the same exact stitch pattern, but they have 5 different names.
Okay.
Because there's no standards for it. So I don't think a lot of people know what you can and cannot do on the loom because there's not a lot of information out there. So I think I would probably tend to go more towards the loom knitting side to show people what you can actually do with a loom and get the same effect that you would if you were hand knitting it.
I see. Hi, Rose Cottage, and thank you for that reminder for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay, so would you teach the classes or would you hire somebody to teach the classes?
No, I would teach them.
Okay, so you'd be spinning yarn and dyeing yarn and doing all this all by yourself.
Well, I might have to have somebody. You want to come work with me?
You would definitely have to teach me everything first. But that's funny. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Looms have come a long way, like this one from Cindywood Crafts. This is a 1/4 inch gauge. So basically what that means is the center of a peg to the center of the peg next to it is a 1/4 inch. And the idea with this one is these little pegs can be moved in or out for easier increasing and decreasing. So that when you are finished, if say you're making a hat on this, your increases and your decreases are going to look identical if you were to hand knit it.
Okay. That is all Greek to me.
I know it is. I know it is. But here's another one that I'm currently working on. And this is a hat.
Okay, that's an odd shape. How do you...
When you work on a loom, it does not matter what shape it is. So it doesn't matter if you're working on this one and connecting it in the round or if you're working on this one. If you're working round and round and round, it's still going to come out cylinder. Does not matter the shape of the loom itself. It's shaped like this so that you can have more stitches.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I've got one like that. I pulled it down some of my go-to ones, so to speak. Not all of them.
Can you guys see how excited she is? Yeah. Samantha said that is interesting. It's very interesting.
So this one is called an S loom.
Now I've seen those.
Okay, and this one is by Cindywood Crafts, and this one is 188 pegs, and it is a 1/2 inch between center of peg to the center of the peg adjacent.
Okay.
So this one, if you were not to connect it, so meaning if you were to work from here and go all the way around and come all the way back around to the other side and work one flat panel, this would be in a 60-inch blanket.
Oh, okay.
So I like to use these when I'm doing large Afghans and projects.
Yeah, but where does it go? I mean, where does it go?
It goes right through the middle. Your project comes out through the middle.
Oh, okay.
So I don't like one that's got
in between. So instead of having a really long, 60-inch long board, you've got
it's all done right here, and you work the stitches off. You work the stitches off this way.
Okay.
So the project comes out through here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Hi, Hope. Hi, Melanie. How is everybody doing? Yeah, we're just finishing up with Erica. We're dreaming about her space that somebody's going to gift her.
Yeah, come
All
on, bring it on.
all fictitious. Yeah, we were just kind of dreaming. So, okay, what is it about? Is it just the dexterity of your fingers that caused you to move from your knitting to the looms?
I like to try new things, and when the looms first came out,
Hi, Crystal.
the nifty knitter was really big. Hi, Crystal, how are you? So the nifty knitter was really big, and I wanted to make hats. Um,
Oh, Crystal said that we are two of her favorite ladies. Isn't that
oh, thank
sweet?
you,
You are so
Crystal.
sweet. Thank you.
I wanted to be able to make hats on the
Okay.
loom. So this was actually made on the loom
Okay.
because I think you can make them a lot quicker. So that's kind of why I went to looming, but I went more towards it now because of, like you said,
The dexterity issues.
yeah, yeah.
Now, have you ever used those Addy machines or those Cernos or anything like that or whatever you call them?
I, of course, have. I have the big Addy and I have the little Addy.
Okay. Well, what do you think of those?
Um,
Okay,
I
for just say for a newbie, for a new somebody who's never even ventured into the idea of loom knitting, what would you say to them?
as far as the
The,
machine ones or the
yeah,
hand ones, the machine
they're
ones.
the machine ones.
Um, I have mixed emotions on those only because the Addy are a big price investment.
Yeah. Hi, Linda.
They are very, hi, Linda, how are you? They are a big investment. But I don't feel like you get the same experience if you were to use one of the lower end ones like the Centro and Singer has one. I just don't feel like you're getting the same experience. So if you have a bad experience on the Centro or the Singer, you may not want to continue to even try the Addy, and the Addy's, in my opinion, so much better.
Okay.
Although I know it is a big investment that a lot of people don't want to spend that amount of money just to not like it. And I get it. I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah. So, like for somebody who had never who has never loom knitted, whether I was on an Addy or where would you suggest to start? I mean, would you need to, should you get a kit, like they have in different stores? I mean, uh, what do you think of those?
Okay. Here's the question that I ask everybody that asks me about looming. This is what I ask them first.
Okay.
What type of yarn do you see yourself working with?
Okay.
If you see yourself working with bulky yarn, then I say yes, buy one of the ones from big box stores. If you see yourself only working with, say, worsted weight number 4, I'd say start with the KB looms, or start with the KB looms.
What's a KB loom?
KB loom is the brand name.
Oh, Samantha says, show us more looms.
This is a KB looms. Some of these you can buy actually at Joann's. They have a few at Hobby Lobbies, or you can buy them online at knittingboard.com.
Okay.
Um,
So what is the deal with those? They're plastic?
These are a high grade plastic.
Okay.
Very, very well made. The reason I say pick your loom by the yarn that you are going to use.
Okay.
I have some of these. This is a 5/8 gauge, which means it's 5/8 between the two pegs.
Okay.
In order to get something, a hat, so to speak, I would have to either have to use the bulky weight yarn, or I would have to hold 2 strands of the worsted weight together in order to get a tight enough knit to be able to wear it. So if you typically are not going to use the bulky yarns, I would say don't start with this type of loom because you're going to end up spending more money on yarn as well.
Okay. Okay. So are you saying that I mean, you can make anything on the looms, am I right?
Oh yeah, anything.
Okay, but you've only talked really about the socks and the hats.
Oh,
so
blankets, ponchos, hats, scarves, shawls.
How would you do a poncho?
Okay. So well, I can tell you how to do a shawl. How about we do that?
Okay. Okay.
You know, when you're making a shawl, you normally start at the back of the neck and it goes out.
Right.
And you guys
in a
can't
triangle, right?
Right. Well, your typical loom the biggest loom that I have has 294 pegs. That is definitely not going to be big enough for a shawl. So what you do for a shawl, instead of working it this way like you would in crochet or knitting, you work half.
Okay.
So you would be flat on one side and increasing on the other to get the first part of your triangle.
Okay.
And when you got one half the width you want it, then you start decreasing, which makes your other half.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's how you would do a shawl. And then, of course, you can do, the rectangular shawls. You can
are there books and stuff for loom knitting?
There are.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to pop off of the loom knitting for just a second. Crystal says, I'm making socks on the loom. If you have not seen it, Erica has a wonderful video to show you how to cast on and get going. Oh, that's really sweet. Yes. And Nair said, I use nifty knitting looms and dream of the Cindy Wood looms, but can't rationalize getting one right now since I do not knit using circular needles.
I would say the Cindy Wood, yes, are an investment. However, they are so wonderfully made that it's one of those I feel that is worth the price.
Okay. I want to talk Tunisian.
Okay.
Now, I know that the group you have on Facebook is a Tunisian Grafgan, but what if I'm not interested in like Grafgans per se in Tunisian? What can I learn on in the Facebook group because I look at these, so interesting, but my thing is I don't want to have to deal with all the bobbins and, all that stuff. I just want to make.
Jessica originally created the group for Afghans because that was the interest 5 years ago when she started the group. But there's lots of different things going on in that group. We just finished a Tunisian shawl tikal.
Okay.
There is currently a towel topper tikal going on in there. You learn all the different, there's all kinds of videos on color changes and the knit stitch and the purl stitch and all the different stitches. So you can learn more than just about Grafgans.
Now, and the group is called what now?
The Tunisian Crochet Grafgan Boutique.
Okay. So if anybody wants to learn a little bit more about that, and then there's videos there, and there's
and Jessica goes live every Wednesday night on the Facebook page.
Okay. What does she usually talk about?
anything. If anybody has any questions, they can put it in the group, or they can actually come to the live and ask anything you can think of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mayor says, I know the Cindywood looms are the best. And Crystal says, I have wanted to Tunisian, but just can't get into it. I'd rather loom. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Hi, Joyce.
I actually ran across some of my vintage Tunisian hooks.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I want to say, because they're called Easy Tunisian, and it's L, M, N, and P. I want to say back maybe late 90s, early 2000s when crow knit was out really big. I want to say that I got these from
Samantha says she has them.
You have these?
That is cool.
Yeah, I would say that they were with Annie's attic. And crow knitting, that's what they used to call it when it was a double-ended hook. They would call it crow knit.
Okay.
And
now okay, so let me ask you this. Does Jessica on the channel, does she ever do anything about with double, see, because that's got me bamboozled. I don't do the double-ended. I mean, I know the back and forth, and I can do that, and I love it. I love it, but I just don't know about in the round.
She actually has a tutorial on the group right now for a Tunisian square in the round.
Square in the round.
A square. You can actually make a Tunisian square. Yes.
But how in the round?
In the round.
That doesn't make any sense.
With a double-ended hook.
How does, I mean, that just blows my mind. How do
you start, I don't know if I can really explain it, but you start with, say, your round in one color, and then you turn the hook and you use the opposite color, which creates the round, and you keep going back and forth until it's kind of hard to explain, but
how is it square?
Because you're increasing on the size just like you would a granny square.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How long has she been doing it?
She was taught to do Tunisian crochet, I believe she said 35 years ago from her grandmother, who actually owned a yarn store.
I knew Tunisian. I knew there was Tunisian, but well, no, I didn't know there was Tunisian. I knew there was Afghan hooks. And I always, I just thought, oh, it's a really long crochet hook.
Right.
And I didn't realize there was such thing as Tunisian. I just thought it was a crochet hook. Yeah, so that was interesting. Are you trying to find a picture of it?
Yeah.
Samantha said that those hooks that you have are discontinued.
Yeah. Okay, here's one.
Oh, I see.
So that is actually done in Tunisian.
I see. Okay. I was thinking more three-dimensional. You see what I'm saying? I was thinking it was, yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting. Hey, no ends. No ends to tie in.
Right.
I like that. You gotta like that. Hi, Shannon. Joyce says she bought a double-ended hook, never used it. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even know. Oh, my word.
And that's Tunisian.
And that's using a double-ended hook.
Yep.
That has to be done with a cable in between, right? No. Obviously.
Well, I mean, the bigger you get, yes, but the smaller ones, no.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
It's one of those things where you're actually kind of okay. You've done Tunisian.
Yeah.
You're actually doing a forward pass on one row and a return pass on the other row at the same time. So you never really have more than a couple stitches on your hook at the same time. That's why it's double-ended hook.
Oh, okay.
So
No, I don't.
depending
I
on
still don't get it.
so depending on the intricacy of the pattern, yes, you may have to have a cable, you may not.
Okay, yeah, I think it's one of those things. Okay, I have to watch it being done, I guess, because
Right.
yeah, my mind, I can't wrap my mind around that. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's like knitting. I, I know continental. I know how to continental knit. I mean, I know how to do the knit and purl stitch. I'm not into it. I don't know. I'm just not into it. But I mean, I took here. This is the crazy thing. I have to tell you this. I took a class. This was way back in the day. Right, right. You're absolutely right, Crystal. Yeah. Um, so I decided I was out of town. We were on kind of like a vacation. And so I decided to do a knitting class. Okay. Now, my mom had taught me years prior how to knit, but I just wanted to learn how to knit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I went in the class, and you had all these people around the table, and the lady was trying. You do this, and you do this, and I'm like, and she's doing it a European style, and I'm like,
a thrower.
yeah, and I'm like, what the heck? Why are you holding your yarn in that? And nobody in the class was getting it. Nobody in the class was understanding. Me, I was up over top of everybody's shoulder. No, don't do it the way the teacher, don't listen to her. Do it like this. And I'm going around and showing everybody because they were all crocheters wanting to learn how to knit. And I'm saying, keep it in this hand and do this. And oh, yeah. And they were all crochet. And the teacher's like, that's what I said. No, it's not. You can't teach a class. I was so frustrated.
Yeah, I'm a continental knitter out as well. I can't throw.
No.
I hold it the same way I do when I crochet.
Yeah. And my mom is I mean, she's German. You know, that was continent. They were on the continent. That's how they did it.
Yeah.
So, all right. I don't see any questions coming in. Anybody have any questions for Erica? Samantha, poor thing, had to buy 2 sets because the puppy ate the ends off. Anybody got any questions for either of us? This has been really interesting. What do you think of the questions, Erica?
Yeah, you kind of put me on the spot there.
I told you I would, but it was good because it got us to think about, what we're passionate about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for that storefront.
Yeah, right. Okay, Melanie says, what should be my first Tunisian project?
I think honestly, what I do when I'm learning a new stitch is I always do dishcloths, because whether you mess up on it or not, they can be used.
Yeah. Well, and if you have cotton, what if you don't have cotton? See, right. I would suggest, I say something small, but my first Tunisian project was actually pretty, for some standards. I was doing an asymmetrical dragon tooth shawl.
Was that by Good Knit Kisses?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It could have been.
You know, I'm the same way. I'm one of those go big or go home.
Yeah. Yeah, Samantha, that's something. Yeah. Melanie, I would say if you have acrylic or like a bamboo blend, try something. Just do a scarf or a shawl or like, something rectangular. Don't worry about increases and decreases. That's too complicated. Just do one stitch in a long shawl.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Yes, the Cindywood has a sale every month on their looms. If you go to their website and you click up at the top and it'll say monthly specials, it'll tell you which looms are on sale that month. And if you've never ordered from them before, they have discount codes for your first time ordering and that kind of thing.
And Crystal said that great point. You could still make small squares just to get good at them and then make a blanket out of the squares. Absolutely.
And you can do Tunisian interlock. I'm trying to see if I've got one next to me.
Oh, I have one. I have one right here.
Okay.
Trying to get it without knocking over all my yarn.
What kind of cotton are you using, Lori?
Here's my entrelac.
That is a good way to practice Tunisian. If you've never done it, there are lots and lots of videos on YouTube for entrelac. That's definitely a good way to learn the simple stitch for sure.
Oh, Joy said, I made a baby blanket using an Afghan Tunisian as my first and last project. That's cute. That's really cute. What about a Tunisian shawl? Yeah, the thing is with a shawl, the only thing you have to remember is that you're going to be doing increases. And for somebody, unless you are familiar with it and watch a lot of good tutorials. Now, I love the way Tony Lipsy from TL Yarn Crafts does her tutorials. She's an amazing teacher. And I'm sure Erica is going to recommend Jessica there on the in the Facebook group. Becky, yeah, we're wrapping up. Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say you could also do a rectangular shawl. You just got to keep in mind what type of stitch you're using because there are certain stitches that tend to roll.
Yeah.
So you want to do some kind of non-rolling stitch, which would be like the honeycomb stitch, the extended simple stitch, and the pearl stitch.
Hey, Laura. You know, I'm making that for those of you that were able to watch my last video, I'm making the Doctor Who shawl in this simple stitch, and it is rolling. Yeah. But it doesn't bother me because I know that I can block it. When I'm done, I'm gonna steam block it, and it's gonna be fine.
And
go ahead.
I was gonna say also if you were doing something in Tunisian, you always want to go up at least 2 sizes bigger than the ball band recommends for your Tunisian hook. But if you're doing a garment, you should go up at least 4 sizes bigger.
Really?
That helps with the drape.
Okay.
That way it works. Tunisian is a much more dense stitch.
Yes. Yes. Linda says she's loving her Tunisian crochet. Love the simple stitch. Me too. I'm right there with you, Linda. I think it looks so elegant. I really do love it. So, Erica, this is what I was talking about before. You suggested I take this huge thing and lay it, and I still haven't done it yet, but do corner to, fold it in corner to corner to corner. Let me see how big it would be. Fold it all in. But this still is going to be a huge pillow.
Hey, you can make it a body pillow.
Yeah. Hey! What? Yeah. Okay, where can I find a form for that? How could I make a form for that?
I would take your measurements. You might be able to find something at Joann's or maybe even Amazon.
Okay. I'm going to have to look at that one. That one's, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Tunisian is, does Tunisian use less yarn than regular crochet? Not necessarily. It uses more than knitting for sure, but depending on the stitch you use, it does. I think it depends on the stitch you use.
Yes. Now this is the honeycomb stitch. Now this was just a whole bunch of scraps that I put together. So this is the honeycomb stitch, and this is done with the J hook.
What is this one called? It's not the honeycomb. Is it called lattice?
I think so.
I love this stitch. I love it.
And then this is the chevron.
Oh, I love that one too. That's neat. That's the simple stitch, right?
Yes, this is the simple stitch, and there's your increases and your decreases. So you could technically start with a chevron, maybe do a chevron pillow, and that would teach you your increases and your decreases to move on to a shawl.
Okay, so Lori suggests, okay, Samantha says buy 2 large rectangular pillows. Well, I could do that. Yeah, for sure. And squish them. Get a body pillow at Walmart and put it in there. Shell says, that's beautiful fabric, Petra. Is it too much to turn into a cocoon cardi? Ooh. I think it's not going to be long enough.
There is no difference between entrelac and Tunisian other than it's just a smaller technique. They both use the same exact stitches.
Oh.
As far as your simple stitch.
I found a very interesting channel that does what she calls Tunisian knitting. She makes some super cool stuff. Laura, what's the name of the channel?
Yeah, there is a Tunisian knit stitch that looks identical to the regular knit stitch. I will say though that the way the back of the fabric is so thick, that you definitely want to make sure that you're using the correct size hook if you're going to use the knitting stitch.
If you're going to use some, that's the knit stitch. This is the knit stitch Tunisian, and it does roll, but it is so nice and thick. I made this, and wait a minute. Yeah, I made this in the knit stitch. This is what the back looks like. But it is so nice and thick for a washcloth, for a dishcloth.
If you were to do that same dishcloth and put 2 or 3 rounds of the seed stitch around it, meaning at the bottom, and 2 or 3 on each side, and then at the top, it won't roll.
Yeah.
So do knit, purl.
Right. Okay, that's a good idea. And then I made a simple stitch, like a little tea towel kind of thing, and then I made 2 of these with this lattice. I just love that look. I just think it looks so pretty.
Crystal was asking earlier, it's up a little bit further, about your Doctor Who scarf.
Where? Let me see here. Crystal, where are you? Okay. I just posted it this morning, Crystal. So if you want to go back afterwards later on, and you can look that up. Right now it's like it's probably over 6 foot long, and I'm not even a third of the way done for the instructions. but I'm not gonna do the entire thing.
Are you using recommended colors or are you just doing random?
I'm doing the recommended colors in the number of rows, but I'm using Tunisian simple stitch instead of using the knitting. I'm not knitting it. I'm using Tunisian simples, and it's turning out so beautiful. I love it. And Mr. Happy, I threw it in his lap, and he just he just loves it.
I love Doctor Who, but I'm not. I think that would be. It doesn't get that cold down here.
Yeah.
So
well, it doesn't get that cold. Well, he told me
colder there than it does here.
That's true. That's true. And he did tell me that if I made it for him, he would wear it all the time. And I said, all the time? He said, yes. He said, I would be sitting in this chair with that thing wrapped around me. I said, okay, all right, all right. And you know what? He's never asked me to make him anything except for that. And so I'm happily going to do it. Yeah.
Good.
So, okay. Any other questions? Laura, I want to tell you something, girlfriend. I am so proud of you. You did a wonderful job organizing that. It brought me to tears. It really did bring me to tears when you met your goal and you went over, and I was just so overwhelmed for you. I don't know if that makes sense, but I loved the way you handled everything. It was such a beautiful time. Thank you so much. I'm tearing up now. Okay. Let's see here. Anything else? Nothing else. Did you want to add anything, Erica?
Hi, Trisha.
Hi, Trisha. How are you? Nope.
Not that I can.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, guys, I don't know if you how much of the interview you heard with Erica, but we started gangbusters at the beginning. We started right on time, and we asked all kinds of good questions. So if you wanted to learn anything about Erica and the different kind of fiber art she likes and how she got started, just go back and watch the replay, I guess. Thank you, Erica. I really had a good time.
I was nervous.
No, you didn't. You did not act like it at all. And next time, maybe we can get you to clean up a little bit so we can see all of your room.
Maybe.
Okay. All right, Laura. Knitting home. We will look that up. We will look that up. Okay. You guys have a great rest of your evening. All right, you guys. Bye now.
Bye.